I'm Queen ShanShan, and this is a broadcast podcast.
Hey girl, hey! We hope you loved last week's episode. Now, just a reminder, you can also listen to us on pretty much every platform that's out there. iTunes, SoundCloud, Radio Public, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, Google Music Play, and we are now officially on iHeartRadio. Can you believe it, Kirk?
Awesome.
Unbelievable.
That is awesome.
Now, you know who's talking in the background? We have an amazing treat tonight. We have Kirk Green, my good friend, and also he has pretty much spanned the directives on being in the interior design industry. Not only is he an interior designer, he is a home stager and an interior decorator. We're going to talk about how we met, the friendship tea history. What's the difference between an interior designer, a home stager, and an interior decorator, which I didn't know there was a difference, to be honest with you. And how has the real estate market really affected people in this creative industry? And we're going to get into the personal chamomile. Kirk is a gorgeous, older gay man. We're going to talk about what is it like to date in Los Angeles as an older gay man in this world. I'm an older, straight woman. I'm telling it's hard, but we're going to talk to Kirk about what is it like to be single in Los Angeles, right?
That's it.
That's it. So hold on to your wigs, broads, because we're going to get into it, right, Kirk?
Yes, we are.
Chicken orzo soup, burrata caprese, meatball ricotta toast, calamaretti. No, these aren't wigs I'm talking about. These are brand new dishes at Ma's Italian Kitchen, located at 267 North Pass Avenue in Burbank, California. The phone number is at Ma's Italian Kitchen is 818-567-2288. They provide private dining and they also cater private parties. Michelle created an amazing menu and I want you to tell them Queen ShanShan sent ya. Hunty!
Kirk?
Yes.
What's for brunch? You know what? We're going to have a new segment, and we're not going to always just talk about what's for dinner. But we live in West Los Angeles. We live in Los Angeles, and the Los Angelinos, we love to go to brunch.
Yes, we do.
So
girl.
let's talk about our
Hell yeah.
favorite brunch haunts. Mine particularly is in Manhattan Beach, and it's called Manhattan Beach Post. And they are known for some amazing cuisine.
Sounds good.
Very affordable too, and it's a really great little haunt that's 2 blocks from the beach.
I was going to say, it's really close to the beach.
Very close. You just
Beautiful.
go there for brunch on a Sunday, get there at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Definitely, I highly recommend reservations because that place is super busy. But order the bacon cheddar buttermilk biscuits.
Wow.
Girl.
That sounds good.
Girl, when I leave there, the wig is on sideways
salivating
and everything. It's amazing. What is your favorite brunch place, Kirk?
I love Pump. In West Hollywood.
In West Hollywood.
Yeah, I love it.
And
the
by the
courtyard
famous
is
Linda
so
Vanderpump,
enchanting.
of course.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
Lisa Vanderpump. Mm-hmm. And the courtyard is so enchanting. It's just
gorgeous.
like, I love being in that whole setting. And it's like, it's to see and to be seen.
It's absolutely. You know those trees
There's always something to see.
Those trees that are in the restaurant, the Ford restaurant, the very famous
150-year-old
olive trees.
olive trees.
They were imported by Italy.
Yes.
She spent almost $50,000 on each tree in that restaurant.
Each tree.
Italy
There are
actually
7 of them.
Imported them, or they were imported from it?
They were imported by. They're imported by Italy. Yes.
Somehow they got here from Italy, but we don't know how. But that's the word. And I'm just sitting next to it and appreciating it. As I see it.
Yeah. So if you guys are ever in West Hollywood,
Gorgeous
definitely
place.
go to Pump. Edward, what's your favorite place for a brunch?
Old Edward or New Edward?
Old Edward? Is it? There's an old. Oh, that's right. Before you're on the vegan plant-based diet before.
Wow,
Okay, well
nice.
let's give us the
Kirk,
two
I'm
perspectives.
Well, I'm now a really official.
Give us your A broad
Nice.
perspective on the old Edward and on the new
Okay,
Edward.
so the old Edward would have gone to, let's say, John O'Groats.
Great, right down the street from here.
Love
Yep.
John O'Groats.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm right off of Pico.
Really good.
And new Edward would probably still go to John O'Groats too, but I'm having to discover new things these days, and it's fast food, so don't throw shade at me. The Veggie Grill is like my new thing.
It's really good.
But still, it is good.
It's delicious.
It's so good. You
It is
good?
very. Oh, of course I've been to the Veggie Grill.
It's good.
Oh yeah, it's very and it's very affordable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like chain or whatever, but
So it's great.
I love
But
it.
it is health conscious.
It's health conscious.
Way more than most.
What did you like?
Way
What do you
more
like to
than-
order there?
I'm obsessed with the Santa Fe chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
These
the
are
Is
the-
that
yeah.
real chicken?
No,
It's fake chicken.
It's chicken. IN apostrophe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Chicken.
There's a take on it.
So that's where I like to go.
That's our brunch segment. Welcome, broads, and welcome, Kirk Green.
Hey, hey, hey.
Of Decor Revamp. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad you're here. Thank you for
Me
being
too.
here. You know what, Kirk? We're going to talk about your journey. We're going to talk about how your creative ability has been accomplished, and you pretty much accomplished a lot in your life, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, you used to be a model. I didn't know you used to be a model. You used to be an actor.
Yep.
What? Hair, I know you did hair and makeup styling because you did a photo shoot for me a few years ago.
Yep.
That was super superb. You went to art school for set decorating and art directing?
Well, I went to art school for fine art, interior design,
Okay.
and then some other electives.
Wonderful.
And then it went into
Awesome.
art direction and set decorating and
Okay, well then I just have a question too. You could just right into your, you're a good friend of mine. I've known you for what, 10 years now?
yeah, probably more.
Really? Oh my goodness, unbelievable. And I know you from an ex-boyfriend of my friends,
Of your friend,
right?
yes.
And so, but I've grown to love you, and we've grown
And
to
I
love
love
you.
you.
Thank you, baby. But I want to really get into what you do. We talk about it all the time, but I don't really know what you really, really do. You have three components in your career. You are a home decorator, an interior home stager. I'm sorry, an interior designer, and
Interior decorator.
interior decorator.
Interior design is more on the last part of the
Okay, so as
scale.
a consumer, me, regular person, what's really the difference between the three?
For interior design, it's more of like, an interior designer brings the blueprint from an architect to life
Okay.
in a structure. There's codes that have to be met. There's specs that have to be met. All of those factors in. Then an interior decorator comes in after the designer and puts in the furniture and the toppings, the wallpaper, the color, the wall paint and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, and then a home stager, which is a completely different element, it's creating an illusion of maximum space in a house that's for sale.
Okay.
So it's about being able to see across the room all the way to the other side of the wall. That way you see floor space. And the furniture is set just in a way that it creates that space. No one would ever live like that in real life.
That's right. Yeah.
But when you walk in, as soon as you open that door, it's like, wow.
Angels
this
are
looks
singing?
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see and I like to put mirrors in all the places so they see themselves in every room.
Smart.
So that creates another connection to the space for
So it's
them.
literally smoke and mirrors.
It is a smoke and mirrors
Okay.
situation.
Good, Edward.
But, but it also brings function to the space too. I mean, you could live like that. You really could live like that.
Right.
But for most people, they like to have the TV and the couch like really close together to be, get on that full-on theater experience as opposed to having it across the room so that, you could walk through it.
As an interior designer, an interior decorator, as a home stager, what do you prefer the most out of the all three?
I love all aspects of it, but I follow what's coming, what the universe is giving me, and
Okay.
it's home staging, and it's also interior decorating because
Okay.
when I stage a house, most of the time the homeowner's like, oh my God, had no idea that this could look like this. Well, can you help us in our new house? I'm like, yes, I can.
Yeah.
So I go in and I either help them, situate their furniture in their new place, get new stuff, or we knock down a wall and we add something else or open up a doorway or add a window to another room, or change things around a bit.
Now, you used to be a model, used to be an actor.
Yeah, because when graduating high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and graduation day, there was like 1,000 people that I was graduating with. It was a huge class. One of the students who was graduating, their father was an agent, and they saw me, and he made his way to me and gave me his card. He's like, I would love to have you come and do some work for us.
What
do
kind
a
of
little
work
test
did you
shoot.
do?
It was, print work.
Was it porn?
No.
Okay.
That's another career.
But yes, we don't talk about that because it's PG-13. If you want to get into R-rated,
the R-rated podcast, that's a whole different story.
No.
The first movie was How to Get on Kirk Green.
How to get on Kirk Green?
Right.
I want to watch that movie.
Right? And caddies are included. Can you imagine?
That's a whole different episode. So, did you like modeling? Did you like acting?
No.
No.
I didn't like either.
Why?
Being in front of the camera was nerve-wracking to me. It's like they were seeing one thing, and I didn't make the connection. I didn't see what they were seeing, and I didn't hear what they were hearing as far as my humor or, whatever. But because it was presented to me, I did it. And as I went through, I started learning about myself and realizing, yeah. And I came to LA 25 years ago. From Maryland.
Maryland, that's right.
Yeah. And I left Maryland. I did some work in New York, and then I also did work in Miami in the modeling and the acting. But then I thought, I'm going to go to LA now. I got my big shoes on. I'm going to LA. And as soon as I came here, I was like, what? Wow, these people are pretty. They are right.
They're really pretty here.
Yeah, so I got a gig on the Bold and the Beautiful soap opera.
No way.
Yeah. And I worked on that for about 3 months.
Okay.
And
no way, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And, well, it wasn't something that I was, it was just kind of like, I got into it and I started doing it, and I would get phone calls from the East Coast. Oh my God, I saw you on TV. I didn't watch one thing. I didn't want to see it. Because then I thought that would curse me. And I'd be like, I'd see myself and be like, oh my God, you are so gay. But you don't know it there, do you? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to see anything. And then afterwards, I just thought, this is not for me.
Okay.
But I was really interested in what was happening behind the scenes. And I was starting talking to the people back there, and I was just like, all right, you got to go on. And I was like, oh, I want to be back here. I love what they go. So how did you get the set to do this? And blah, blah, blah.
It's interesting. This interesting segue. So you were also doing hair, makeup and styling. Is that why you wanted to be behind the scenes as well?
Well, that came after set decorating.
Oh, okay.
Once I left the acting whole thing, I went into set decorating. Art department. I was just like a hired hand to do spray painting of this and that and the other thing. And they saw that I was good at it and I could do something and make something out of something. And they were like, all right, go. Get him to do this. So it just moved really quickly.
And that's
over a course of 5 years from
Is that when I
art
met
department
you?
to, yeah.
That's so, can we say the names of the big companies you worked for the set direction?
Hormel, Motorola.
Wasn't it Walt Disney as well?
Disney, yep.
Disney?
I did the really short report. And that was movies that would come out for Disney. There was a little TV show on Disney Channel. These little kids would be like anchors, like news anchors.
Okay.
And we would dress the whole set behind it, whatever the movie was. If it was Enchanted, we'd create this whole Enchanted theme behind them, and we'd have whatever it was.
Did you enjoy doing that?
I loved it.
You loved it?
It was hours and hours and hours of work. Grueling hours, but I loved every moment of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the market took a dump, of course.
The market took a dump, and the entertainment business took a dump.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, well, now I've done this, and I'm ready to reinvent myself again. And I've gotten to be a pro at that.
You sure did.
Yeah.
And the reinvention was the home stager. And
yeah, because home staging was kind of taking a turn, coming into HGTV and all those kind of things.
Right,
where
all
putting
the
on these
reality
TV shows,
yeah.
and that's when I was like, what? Let me see what's happening here. So I did a little recording, and sent it into HGTV. I got to talk with some people. So it worked. You know what I mean? It got a little thing going, and then it went into home staging. I worked for somebody really briefly. Well, not briefly, 5 years.
5 years. You worked
and then I
for them for a long
decided,
time.
I'm doing this on my own. I don't need to work for somebody else and help them build them. I'm going to build myself.
Build yourself up. Absolutely.
Yep.
Real quick, though,
Yep.
we rewind. You went to art school. What did you learn in art school exactly?
I learned the power of color,
Okay.
light from a window, light from a electrical source, space planning
Space planning.
from interior design.
Do you recommend, obviously, people who want to be interior designers, the education is a must because you want to learn about the space and lighting and all that stuff.
It is and it's not, because
Oh.
you either have the eye to do it, you either have the innate quality or you don't. You can go to school and learn the basics of it and apply that, but you don't always achieve the creative aspect that has to come with it and to be able to apply that too. So that's kind of where I've been able to kind of shortcut that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And plus my dad had a construction business, so I learned a lot through him
Oh,
as
I
well.
didn't know your dad
And when
had-
I was in high school,
Oh my God.
before high school, we had to work every summer
I've known you
for the
for how
construction
long,
company.
and I didn't even know your dad was in
Yeah,
construction.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So real quick, you have a big family. You come from how many brothers? How many sisters?
There's 5 of us total.
5 of you, and they
3 brothers, 2 sisters.
And right, and so the majority of them still live in Maryland, or
2 live in Maryland, 3 are here.
okay, wonderful. And your parents are still with us.
Yes.
They're still okay. And
East
so,
Coast.
is your dad retired, or he's still doing construction?
He's retired.
okay.
He does, things, little jobs here and there.
Okay. So it's funny how children like us children are still inspired by our parents. Like I never thought in a million years I'd be doing insurance.
Yeah.
I hated insurance. My dad's been doing insurance for 50 years. Never thought I'd be doing insurance. Did you ever think you'd ever be an interior designer, an interior decorator?
No. Especially when I have one of my contractors or a contractor come up and say, okay, so where do you want this wall to be? Or where do
Right.
you want this doorway to be? We had to take it off of here, but how far do you want it to go down? And so I need to be able to create that space there. And I think, wow, my dad forced me to pay attention to how walls were built,
Interesting.
how the studs, how far apart they should be, where the electrical should run, how to do a junction box, how to do all those things. And it's now here that I'm using that information. Of course, codes have changed, and there's things that it's different now.
Yeah.
But still, running electrical, getting lighting to, there's still 220 and 110 and that kind of thing.
I have no
Voltage.
idea what that means.
Yeah, it's
okay.
voltage.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like, an air conditioner to a light switch.
Thought you were talking about my weight for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So, real quick though.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have been your client,
Yes.
and I recognize that you really wanted to make sure that I was taken care of.
Absolutely.
But some clients there's some pushy clients. There's
Yep.
clients that want you to force feed them in a way.
Kiss their feet.
I've pretty much said to you, Kirk, when you were looking at my space, my apartment years ago, because my apartment is because the way it is right now is because of you. Thank you very much, because
Yes.
your eye is telling. Your eye is key. The color. Everybody who comes to my apartment, the
They
minute
love
they
that
come to my
color.
apartment,
Yeah.
they see this gorgeous blue wall in
Yeah.
my wall, and it's in my living room, and is awesome.
Yeah.
And I was nervous. I was nervous for this blue. What do you call this blue in my wall? What do you still call it? It's like
a Mediterranean blue.
It's a Mediterranean
like an
blue, yeah.
aqua
It's not
blue.
aqua blue. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
It reminds me of Mamma Mia. Every time I see
It
it,
does?
I'm like Mamma Mia.
It does
Oh,
have
okay.
that Mamma
That's a
Mia. It does
good-
have that color.
That's a good description,
Yeah.
Edward.
Yeah.
Because I also have splashes of orange in the house. And it just gives
And
this
that's my
nice,
company
refreshing,
color.
right?
I love it.
Right? So I have a question for you. How do you decide if the client is a good fit for you and your brand?
I usually know within the first 20 minutes of talking to them. If they're not listening to my suggestions, that they're hiring me to suggest things and to find out what they're looking for, find out what their interests are. Then I also tell them too, that's not really possible. This is a retaining wall. This is a load-bearing wall. You can't take this down. The whole house would cave in. But you really want to do that still? We're going to have an issue. You're not listening. But, I get through that.
So you
And
got to be transparent with your clients. You have to be.
Have to be. And diplomatic. You have to be, have to listen to them and think, okay, there's no judgment here. They're very fixated on this one thing. Let me try and steer them into another thing. Steer them into this direction that we need to be in.
Do you
It's almost like
welcome-
therapy too.
Yeah, and that right? That's
Yeah.
true. Because you know what? That's true. Because this is a space I live in. I have to walk into this every
And
day.
you have
I have to go
wanna
to bed,
love it.
and I have to love it. I have to be like, I do want to be in this space every day. I don't want to be in a negative space.
Yep.
So, do you welcome client involvement, or do you prefer clients to be hands off?
Hands-off clients are the ones that are they're particular, they're nitpicking, they're not listening. So I just want to tell them, and I do tell them, go to lunch, let us do some things here, and then when you walk in the door, I'll let you. That'll tell you if we're gonna work together or not.
Got it. Because you have the right to dismiss a client as well,
Yeah, well, respectfully.
respectfully.
You know what I mean, and creatively. I have to be creative in that aspect too, but like dealing with their feelings. I'm in their home.
You're in their home
I'm in their home.
or their office.
This is their space or their office, which is their money
yeah.
or the love of their love, their home, their safety.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to be able to make that more than what they could imagine.
Yeah,
Creating more of a safety haven.
absolutely.
Creating more of like a place where they love, I'm making money today and this looks great. This office is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then what do you find the most challenging about designing a home? What's the
Budget.
biggest challenge? Yeah, oh, okay. Money. Budget. Yeah. And that sometimes can scare them off, right?
Yeah. They want
Yeah.
to remodel a whole kitchen and they want all the top things, but they don't want to pay $30,000.
Woo.
They want to think, can we do it for 15? If we could go to IKEA and maybe some Home Depot and, maybe some,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to have a $30,000,
done.
you can be done, but you're not going to have a $30,000
And
budget
you're
with a
not gonna have name
$15,000
brand
reality.
faucets.
Right.
You're not going to be down on Robertson shopping for the
Oh, heck no.
$4,000 faucet, which can't imagine that happened.
$4,000 faucet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just jacking that up.
I
Just
can't
for like
imagine.
that.
Yes,
I'm sure,
I'm
there's
sure
a
they
fortune.
do.
Oh, good God.
I don't want those people.
On Robertson, absolutely.
Of course.
In Beverly Hills, yeah.
I have a question off the cuff.
Yeah.
What is the freakiest thing you've ever seen in a person's house?
Ooh.
Okay, you walk in and
Like a sex dungeon?
Yes.
that, or like
I know some friends have sex
petrified
dungeons.
dog or something under the bed, or a lost cat.
A petrified dog? Oh my God. But I have friends, and I'm not going to say anything, and I know they're listening. But they have sex dungeons in their homes. And I'm like, work! Okay. Have you seen a sex dungeon before?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Oh my gosh.
We were going through the house and with the realtor and talking about, all the things that we need to edit and things that we can bring in to make it fresh and, and then we go downstairs, which was a converted garage and it's closed off on the garage side, to the outside. And we go downstairs and he goes, so this is something that we might need to, and he just opens the door and we're like,
What was it?
and I was like, is that a swing to do what? And she starts laughing, the realtor starts laughing, and the homeowner starts laughing, and I'm like peeking in around the corner to see what else I can see. I'm like, can I go in? And he's like, of course you can go in.
Where is it?
Was
Where's
it
the
late?
mat?
Was it
There
sticky
was
in there?
a sling. There was this big board with these chains coming down with these leather cuffs that they would
Oh,
and
my
ankle
God.
cuffs, and they would lay back on the board. Oh yeah, there's masks in there.
Was
I
it
mean,
s-
they had thousands and thousands and thousands of
smell?
dollars. No, it smelled good.
It smelled good in there?
Yeah, it smelled
Like
good.
candles and like.
Yeah, it had like it didn't smell like musty men.
Gays.
Did it smell
Yeah,
like...
full on gays.
Gays.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gay?
Yeah,
Oh, of course
totally.
they're gay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we know what? The streets like to be kinky, too.
Oh, okay.
Easy.
But I
we
thought to
streets like to have
myself,
a
I was
little
like,
kinky
he's got
ball.
like this polo shirt on and these, nice slacks, and I was like, what's underneath that?
Right?
You got like some slap-on
Nothing.
Oh my
zipper
God.
on panties or something underneath there. And I was like, is that door gonna close? And now we're your victim? Of course, I said that too. And they were like, everyone was laughing. It was fun, because she was kind of freaked out. She was like, "What? How are we gonna do this?" And I said, "This all needs to go away.
Okay, absolutely.
All of it.
You can't
We
sell a
can
home
make this
without
a
that.
media room,
Right.
and we won't tell anyone what was happening in here before.
Right.
So the homeowner has no idea.
That's
The new
hilarious.
homeowner has no idea what they just bought.
What is the other weirdest thing you've seen in a home before you decorated it or home staged it?
Hoarding. really bad, really bad.
I can imagine.
And the smell.
Like, give us a scenario.
I could not. There wasn't. You couldn't pinpoint the smell, but it was just
Like a dead animal?
The smell was like in your throat.
Gross.
It was you breathe in, and I would breathe in through my mouth most of the time, and I was like, and there
You
were
could
bugs.
taste it, huh? You could taste it.
It was almost like a taste, and they had cats,
Oh.
so there was cat urine and feces in
Gross.
there too, in between like stacks of.
How many
people.
cats they had?
I don't know.
Too many.
Don't know.
It was probably a dead cat.
Petrified cat.
Probably.
It was probably a dead puss.
Sure
It's
is.
a dead puss that was in some corner that's been there for 15 years. Disgusting.
And that was just
Passed
like
15 years ago,
Yeah.
but she could not.
it's
let
like
it go.
fur and bone.
Fur and
Gross.
bone.
And you had to clear that out as a homestead?
Hell no.
Oh,
They had to hire somebody to come in and clear that out.
Yeah.
gross.
I mean, a dumpster would come. It took them
Are we talking
probably
like
a good
paths?
2.
Like, you know,
yeah. I mean,
Can you
literally, it
Like a
was
labyrinth of shit.
stacked full of things. And one room, you open the door and it stopped halfway, and you just look in, and it's just stuff that they were just throwing into the room.
Are they looking at you weird, or are they just looking, or like
They're
you
very
like,
quiet.
Yeah,
Very quiet.
they're embarrassed.
Probably.
They're embarrassed. I know hoarders are embarrassed. I know
Yeah.
it's a sickness as
We
well.
level of
weren't
shame.
there very
and it's a
long.
mental illness too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have talked about that with Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that was probably you've had a few of those instances, and it was shocking, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And there
Wow.
was also a client that was into more of like eclectic kind of art, which is more kind of circled around dead things.
Ooh,
Yeah. So like over top of the fireplace.
like
was
taxidermy stuff.
No, there was a human's body, just bone.
Okay, like a
hanging in the
skeleton, a
hall.
full skeleton.
Full skeleton
Okay.
hanging in the.
Well, that's
in
pretty
the
cool. Maybe
hall.
that was for Halloween or something. I don't know. It was weird, but it was like it was creepy
was-
weird.
But it was April.
Real. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was October, I'd be down. I'd be like, woo! It was April, and I'm like, what is that? Or no, what was his name? Or her name?
What was her name?
Yeah.
Was it your last interior decorator?
Yes.
Was
Yes.
that the body? Or what's left of it?
What hallway am I gonna be in?
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Well,
that is so crazy.
Yeah. There's. Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You never know what to expect when you walk into
Someone else's home. Yeah, it's really interesting, I'm sure. Now, we were just talking about a few minutes ago, I was affected with the real estate market back in the day when I used to be real estate and the mortgage industry. It did very well, and then in 2006, 2007, the market took a dump. It affected you as well in the real estate market. Now, at that time, because you had to change, you were set decorator, and that was big at that time, and then you had to change career.
Staging
At home
during
staging.
the dump. Mm-hmm. It was busy.
It was busy. Now,
People
what
needed
is
to unload.
what is the market? You know, we have a little bit of a turnaround, economic turnaround, but I've noticed there's a little bit of a cooling off period right now with people selling their homes or buyers buying homes. What is your opinion on the real estate market now for the creative industry?
It is in an odd kind of place. The first 2 months of the year was a dead for a lot of, the realtors that I work for. It was pretty dead for me, but starting March 1st, it has been absolutely bonkers busy.
Good. Do you think it's also maybe it has to do with tax season too, and the people getting their refunds?
Yeah, for some, yeah. But there was Trump's, everything was going to be implemented on February, and so a lot of homeowners, which I would hear through realtors that, some of the homeowners they're apprehensive about putting their house on the market yet. What's the market going to do when he's actually in there and doing his thing? And so I think that probably slowed things down a bit too. Sales have been down, to last year, but now that everything's okay and the market didn't crash and the sky isn't falling, everybody's up and ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been getting lots of calls for interior design, or just mostly home staging right now?
It's mostly home staging.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. There's a couple interior design, but that's later down the road.
And how long does a project usually last for you to home stage a project?
We can stage a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house in a day.
Wonderful.
One day.
Wow, in a day?
One day. From storage, back to storage, done. House
Oh my
is done.
goodness. And so home staging goes from all the way from people renting in a condo or a townhouse all the way to obviously you're working on $4 or $5 million mansions.
Yep,
Everybody,
yeah.
do you really recommend people have a home stager for when they sell a home?
It makes all the difference in the world.
Wow.
When people look at photos, it's
It
about
does. I've seen.
yeah. I mean, and then the
situations.
photos are so small. You know,
Yeah.
they're only this big, and so like I was saying before, like to be able to see all the way clear to the other side of the room, which could be from the front door through the living room, through the dining room to the slider out to the balcony or to the patio or to the backyard, to be able to see a space, floor space, all the way through, it just makes the place look. It's almost like, what is that? You know, like
A kaleidoscope?
tunnel vision or
tunnel-
yeah, like tunnel vision. Like it just makes it look so big.
So it's appealing to the buyer's eye.
yeah, it gets them in.
Gets them in, and that's
It's
what a
in their
realtor
price
wants.
point.
Gets them in.
It gets them in.
Yeah.
And then they kind of start getting hooked on certain things that they like.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. Wonderful. So we want to make sure that people can get in touch with Décor Revamp.
Yeah.
How do people get in touch with you, Kirk?
My website is www.decorrevamp.
Spell that, please.
DecorRevamp.com.
Wonderful. And what is your Instagram?
Instagram is Designer Home Stager.
Designer Home Stager on Instagram. Are you on Twitter?
No Twitter.
Okay.
I do have a Twitter, but I don't.
You don't really use
I don't
it?
tweet.
You don't tweet. You don't tweet.
No. That's about it.
And how do they find you on Facebook?
Facebook, they can either find me on Kirk Green, and I also have a Décor Revamp page.
Wonderful. And what is the phone number they can contact you on?
They can contact the office at 323-509-4939 or call my cell directly through ShanShan.
Okay.
Give out that private number.
Okay. Are you gonna get out?
801-9649.
Right on.
Yep.
That's
I saw that on the restroom wall once.
We'll talk about that in a minute on the
For a good
restroom wall.
design.
Okay, for a
call.
good designer. Thank you, Kirk. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, I had
being
a
on the
great
show.
time.
Thank you so much. We
you.
really appreciate it. Latal Arbib, medical esthetician, specializes in facials, lash extensions, body waxing, eyebrows, and all sorts of great things for your face and your body. Latal is offering $25 off for new clients who listen to this podcast. Just mention you heard it on A Broad Podcast, and you will get $25 off your first facial, waxing, eyebrow shaping, or lash fill treatment. Tell her Queen ShanShan sent ya. Hunty! Kirk,
Yeah.
you're about 250 years old, right?
255 in August.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank
I'm about 110. And in
look
our
fabulous,
long I
darling.
look amazing, right?
Right?
And how old are you, Edward?
Older than that.
You're older than 255?
You're older than 255
Damn,
years
you're older
old.
than I
You look
do.
good, girl.
I'm real old.
You look good.
Caucasian don't crack.
So I get gray or anything like that.
Hey, easy. That's our thing.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
It is.
so, I'm single. I'm a single straight woman in Los Angeles, and dating sucks donkey balls. I'm just going to be, it really, really sucks. You are an older, gorgeous, older gay man
Thank you.
living in Los Angeles. You're very welcome. I've always said you're very, very gorgeous. And you have the same issues as me. It's
Yeah.
hard to date in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And, we're a little older, too. We're not, I'm in my mid-40s, and you are in...
We may be older, but we are better
Oh, of course,
than we
honey.
were before.
And we are juicier.
And we are, yeah.
Sounds like the Bionic Man. They
Oh
make
my
you
God.
Faster and
I'm feeling
stronger.
tickling sensations in other places.
We know what's up, but because
Yeah.
we know what's up, we also are selective. And I get a little criticized saying, Shannon, you're too picky. But I'm like, is that too bad? Because do I need to settle for some loser that I'm going to be depressed with the rest of my life? Or do I stay single and live my life? And I'm happy being single. But, I do miss having a companion, a man in my bed, a man sitting waiting
Yeah.
for me at home, or we go out to dinner, we go on a trip together. I do miss that. But as you are a gay older man in Los Angeles, Kirk, what is it hard for you to date right now?
It actually is not.
It's not. Why is that?
I've changed my perspective on what I think is important in a relationship. It's not so much on the look And it's not so much on the physique. It's not so much about the face. It's about what they have to offer from their experience and from their heart.
You walk into a room and all eyes are on you, yeah. You don't even notice me. No kiss, hello, how are you?
You were in a very long-term relationship.
Yeah.
This is how I know you.
Yeah.
You were in a long-term relationship for 8 years, and you lived with this individual as
My
well.
first relationship, later in life,
Yeah, and
I
later
was
life,
42.
right? 42. That's right.
with my first real, what I would consider my real relationship.
Right. And then in your and the other relationship, how long did that last?
That was about a year.
About a year,
Yeah.
recently.
So like the first one, there was trial and error
Right.
all the way through, and I was grateful that he stuck with me through the things that I was learning about and being difficult about or being too blasé about.
Right.
But from beginning to end, walking away from it or moving on, I learned so much about myself.
Yeah.
And it took about a year and a half for me to digest everything that I had experienced. Because when you're with someone, it's kind of hard to keep track of yourself and keep tabs with yourself.
Right.
Because you're too busy trying to make sure that they're okay too, and that it's
Absolutely.
working, and
Absolutely.
everything's happy. We're happy, right?
Right.
So yeah, after that, I did a lot of evolving and growing, and
Soul searching.
soul searching, and yeah.
Well, that being said, I read an article called it was "Gay Men: 7 Places to Find Your Next
Yeah.
Boyfriend," not in a bar.
In a bar.
Because even with in the straight world, we tend to go to bars or clubs
Yeah.
to find our boyfriend or our girlfriends, and I'm
Yeah.
so over the clubs. I used to be a club whore.
Me too.
Back in the day.
And
And
I'm
not
like,
whore to
what?
sleep
I
around
can't
whore, but I
either.
just was like, let's go to the club. I've been
Yeah.
going to the club on a Monday night, going to the club on a Tuesday night, club on the club, shaking my ass. And I'm like, I'm 102,000 years old. I don't
Right.
want to go to a bar on a
No.
Thursday night and shaking my booty. I want to have a conversation over a nice glass of wine, get to know
Exactly.
you. It could be at a, whatever, but it doesn't need to be at a bar. And
And I love being in this place.
in the gay scene and the LGBT scene, let's be honest, you guys are known for your big parties, your
Oh,
circuit
yeah.
clubs, your circuit parties.
No,
you
thank you.
got the white party, you got the red party, you got
Never
the,
been.
You never you
Nope,
never been.
never
I've
been.
been. And they're fun, but some people have met their significant others there. Do you prefer going to bars anymore? What's your deal?
I don't.
Where do you
I love to go to Pump.
You like to go to Pump for
I
brunch?
love that place. And there's
Yeah.
a new place down the street, Tom Tom.
Tom Tom's great.
It's fabulous. It's a nice little
Same
quaint
owner.
place.
Yeah, same owner.
Same owner.
Lisa
Well,
Vanderbilt.
Lisa. Well, the Tom, one of the Toms,
What, the
and
two-
my
yeah.
friend Lindy knows the other Tom.
Uh-huh.
So they were on the show. One of
Yeah.
them was on the show. So
Both of them were on the
that's
show.
how they got their
Yeah.
start on their restaurant.
Right.
But now they're competing with the food because Pump has now changed their menu.
Of
And it's
course.
now a little more upscale,
upscale
like it was.
than-
Yeah,
yeah.
to kind of compete with Tom Tom, which is cool because then it keeps the clientele going back and forth and
Yeah.
back and forth. you
Yeah.
know?
But anyways, so you like to
Anyway.
go to nice established places to meet
Yeah.
a new individual.
Yeah.
Now, do you also go on the dating apps?
Yes.
Okay, which dating apps? Share to the world, which are the best gay dating apps that you experienced?
I'm not really sure what's the best.
Which are the ones that
but
you had good luck
I've been on
with?
Tinder. I've met quite a few nice
You mean
guys.
Good luck.
Tinder
good,
or-
good luck as in like getting a relationship, or good luck as getting a hookup? Because
Yeah.
it is. Everybody bats 100 on that.
Okay,
Right?
Tinder,
Okay.
is it Tinder
Yeah.
or your Grinder you're on? Or both?
Grinder, I'm on and off.
Okay.
It just gets boring to me.
It gets boring
It's
to
like,
you.
if you're not ready to leave your job and go run over here to behind the dumpster and have sex with somebody.
Right.
And I'm so past that. That's
Right.
20 years ago.
Right.
You know?
Be honest, that was 20 days ago.
I'm gonna put your order in, and I'll be right back in three
Right.
and a half, maybe an hour. I don't
Right?
know. You know what I mean? Now it's like, no. You
Yeah.
get on there, and it's kind of like, are you kidding me? And
Yeah.
it's like, the young ones wanting their daddy, and I'm like, no,
you're not a daddy.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm on the dating app. Like I'm on Tinder and OkCupid,
Okay, Cupid, okay.
and there's one other one that I can't think of right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably been on it in a while, but they're people more my age. I
Right.
put in the demographic of between 50 and 60.
Mm-hmm.
Between 50 and 60.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually getting out there and meeting guys my age. And it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
What
I've
are
met
your-
some really cool people.
What are your thoughts in maybe being part of fundraisers or exercise groups and everything like that? That was one of the tips, like being part of a fundraiser, being part of a campaign, a political campaign. I think that's actually a good idea because then you have someone that's on the same side politically as you as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. Politically, I'm not that big. I'm not a political.
You're not a political person.
Advocate
Okay.
at all. you
Okay.
know. I mean, I'll follow the things that are important, but I'm not, running in the streets, campaigning. But I do volunteer, stand up for pits.
Stand up for pits. What's that about?
It's through my sister. She works for a comedian. Her name is Rebecca, and she started a foundation to
Okay.
save pit bulls.
Okay.
And they all get rehabbed and they all find
very
homes.
nice.
And and
Very
it's like, so
nice.
it's gone. She goes everywhere
Mm-hmm.
now. So I volunteer every time they come to LA, and it's like 2 times a year.
Okay.
So I volunteer through there. I meet lots of people there, not all straight, not all gay, but
Right.
I do a volunteer beach cleanup.
Yeah, you
It's
do.
kind of a mixed thing.
Yeah.
It's not like, but every time I go and do something, it's not like I go with the intention of meeting the man of my
Right,
dreams.
because you really are actually helping the beach.
I am.
You
doing
actually want to
that.
help pits and doggies.
Yes.
And it's just a plus if you do meet
If I
somebody.
do meet somebody.
Right.
So that's always in the back of my head. It's like, I wonder if at
So-
this place will I meet somebody.
So basically, circling back, it's all about being social, being out there, because I can't, and I will never find my Prince Charming if I'm sitting at home watching Netflix all day. I mean, that's the point I want to get across is like, women my age are discouraged on dating because they don't think they're going to find somebody. I mean, I even get discouraged myself, but that's why I travel all over the world. That's why I'm very vocal and very active socially, not just going out to dinners and brunches, but I like
Right.
to volunteer my time in certain things. And do weekend girl trips, because if we go on the girl trips, sometimes we meet, particular individuals who like to flirt with us,
That
whatever.
sparks your fire.
That sparks
you know?
my fire,
Yeah.
honey. That lights me up.
Yeah.
And then
Whether it's for 5 minutes or
whether
for
5 minutes
5 years.
or 5 years,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I do recommend, and I highly suggest all you girls and boys who are single out there, just like me and just like Kirk.
Yeah.
We're single and we're not giving up. Are
Don't
you
be
giving
afraid
up?
to put yourself out there.
Never give up. Da-da-da. I was just listening to this. I cannot wait. By the way, it was totally off the cuff. Donna Summer. The Summer. The Broadway show Summer is coming out at Pantages next year. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
And remember that
That'll
song
be
from
awesome.
Donna Summer and Barbara Streisand?
Oh, yeah.
I love that song, and it's like, it's never give up, da-da-da, I
Yes.
won't give up, I won't give up, dun, dun, dun. So I was like, I'm never giving up. I'm
No.
never going to give up on love. I'm never going to give up on that dream of meeting somebody. And if I do die single, I do
And
die
too, what's
single.
important is it's being able to love yourself first.
Absolutely.
And when you find that love for yourself, it's not so important to find love through someone else. It's a bonus
Absolutely.
when they come into your life, and then it's like a balance of love if they love themselves too as much. So that's kind of like what I've learned about myself at 55. I love myself. I can look at myself and say, I love you. You have done great things. Somebody else might not think so. That doesn't matter. It's what I think about myself at this point in my life.
Kirk,
So yeah, it's awesome.
I love you.
I love you too, honey.
Aw.
More than you know.
Oh,
I love you too.
I love you too,
I love you too,
Edward.
Edward.
Oh my God, kumbaya, my lords, kumbaya.
Those are great words. Love thyself,
That's
It
love
is.
thyself.
It's so important.
More powerful words than that,
Yeah.
because it's the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it affects all aspects of your life.
Absolutely. Obscure places. Kirk, what's your obscure place that you want to go to?
Mars.
257.
I was expecting something else besides Mars, maybe like France or something.
Hey, you know what?
Mars?
It's becoming a thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's possible now.
It is possible.
but you need $1.2 million or $7
$1 million
At least.
At least
to get there.
Now that Richard
So-
Branson is still working on his space station, supposedly. You know, obviously we got Elon Musk working on SpaceX, and that will hopefully lead to domestic travel to outer space.
Yep.
I don't know if it's going to be in our lifetime, which would be amazing. I'd be kind of scared
But it's
because,
something
oh my
to think
God.
about,
But I can't
as
imagine.
opposed to impossible.
We mentioned this like maybe on our first or second episode with me and Edward, and I said, living on Mars, I can imagine it would be so humid because you can't breathe the air, so everything's going to be air conditioned. It'd be the ducts, it'd be
Or when you get there, it's not what they said it was at all.
it may be all fake. Like it could be real air, like
It
real
could be
oxygen,
another planet.
real
Just a
water.
little bit further down, you get us. Basically.
You
Yeah.
think
It's
so?
like that's the outer shell, but if you drill down a little further,
Yeah.
you got Earth.
And my conspiracy theory side, it's really not all what they say it is, because how do they know that with one little telescope? Seriously.
Oh well, they had a Mars landing. They had a
Well,
Hubble,
yeah,
right? Or there's some other
But it
robot.
has
or
to
something.
coincide with history and everything that we've been taught. Do we really know what that is out there? Yeah,
Or
same
did
thing.
they go?
Or
I'm just
did they
thinking,
go?
I cannot go there with all my wigs. Are you kidding me? The humidity and
Yeah,
that planet
no,
would kill me. I would die.
Yeah, you'd need
Yeah.
a really big respirator
wigs.
because
Yeah.
all your wigs you can.
I could be able to wear my wigs up in Mars. Are you kidding me right now?
You do like a Matt Damon thing. You build a little like ecosystem there.
Yeah.
You have your wigs.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know.
Yeah.
So blow
It better
yourself
be
up.
a lot of air conditioning. That's what I'm
Lots
saying.
of air
Yeah.
conditioning, lots
And
of
little-
sunscreen.
Lots of
Lots of
plants
sunscreens.
inside. Mm-hmm.
plants.
Yeah. So I got to really prepare for that. But first, I
See?
got to get $1 million.
Wait, is it like Mars?
kinda-
Like I'm going to Mars.
Mars? They're going to Mars. Like they
Mars,
want to.
Mars, comma Mars, like New York, because there's no really town there. You going to Mars? I'm going to Mars.
The epicenter of Mars is Marstown. Like, we're going downtown to Mars. Mars downtown. That's where all the fun is happening.
So besides Mars,
But-
what else? What else would you like to be? Like to travel
Patagonia.
to? Patagonia. Why?
For sure. Because it is the most difficult place to get to. And I'd love to go even further because there's a whole, like a cruise, like an ice ship that they break, the ship that actually breaks through the ice and takes you almost to the North Pole, to the South Pole.
Right.
And apparently with the gravity and all of that, how the poles work, there's an energy there that is like no other place on Earth. So
I've heard that.
that is obscure to me. Like that would be, or to the North Pole. Iceland was the furthest I'd been, and getting on to a glacier I cried. It brought tears to my eyes. I'm putting my hands on something that is touching the North Pole. It's a part of the North Pole.
Right.
I can't get there, but I'm close to it.
Right. I went to Iceland and we were on the glacier too as well, and it was weird because it wasn't really a glacier. Like it's not really ice. It is dirt.
like a
It's
continent.
It's a continent. So
A
you're
moving
a moving
continent.
continent, and it's
Yeah.
like this is a glacier that we landed on a glacier.
Yep.
So Iceland has a lot of many aspects, and I appreciate that, Kirk. Absolutely.
It's almost like a different planet there.
It is.
too.
It is.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when
It's
you
almost
land
like a green
on,
Mars. It's like
honey, when
moss
I
everywhere.
landed on there, there's no trees.
No
There's no
trees.
trees in Iceland.
Yeah.
It looks like we are landing on a cold Mars. It was
Yep.
the weirdest experience I had in my life. But we talked about it again on Judy's episode about Iceland, and she enjoyed it too. But Iceland it's not for the weak. I'll tell you that. It was
No.
it was an interesting journey. My obscure place that I want to talk about is Turkey, and Edward spoke about it a few episodes, and it was Pamukkale that you said we should go to, right?
Yes.
I myself, I definitely want to do that, but I'm a Bible girl. I was raised by really hardcore Christian parents, and so all the biblical places I want to go to Ephesus.
Oh, you're gonna die.
Is it amazing? I can't wait.
Yes, you gotta go to Mary's house.
I gotta go to Mary's house. I gotta go where John hung out. John wrote the gospel. He wrote Peter. He wrote Corinthians. He wrote. My mom's gonna like no Shannon.
Do they let gay people go there?
Yes,
Yes,
man.
honey.
I went to Mary's
Turkey
house.
is very gay friendly.
Yeah, very.
Okay.
Turkey is very
Patagonia.
LGBT. Yeah.
That's another trip.
I went to Mary's
Turkey, here I come.
house.
Mary girl, scoot over
Honey,
because
and
there's a gay man
the
coming
Turkish men, honey. The Turkish
Yeah, they are some
sausage
pretty
is
men.
delicious. So
over. All men are beautiful. That's all I have to
I'm
say.
just saying.
Just in Turkey, they're
Just
just,
the
another
turkey.
level.
There ain't no turkeys over there. There are
No.
some turkey-licious
Turkey-licious.
men over
I
there.
mean,
It's,
yeah,
the men in Turkey are pretty phenomenal.
you should do that because it's obscure and people will be like, well, my mom told me, when I went, she was like, I just do not leave the airport. It's just that was her advice to me.
It was
Actually,
crazy when I went
the
to.
second
Yeah.
time when I went.
I went to Istanbul and it was
my
crazy.
mom was
It's
like,
insane.
Don't leave the airport. We
You're like, I
flew-
spent 2 weeks in the airport. It was fun.
It's amazing. We were there like the day after the shootings at the
Oh
airport.
my
like,
God.
whatever that was.
That was what 2016.
16, yeah. And of course she was like, "Don't get off the plane." I'm like, "Mom, I have to get off the
You gotta
plane."
have a
Yeah,
plane.
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
It's leaving.
You gotta change
yeah,
planes.
Yeah.
It was insane. I was in Istanbul last year, and the security. I'm so glad I gave myself 3 hours because it really did take 3 hours of security checks to get to my terminal, to my gate. It was insane in the membrane there. But I have to appreciate it because they really want to make sure people are safe.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the minute you even get to the terminal, you even get to the when you get your bags to the security, you got to go through other 3 security checks
Yeah.
before
Just
you
to
even
make
get
sure
just before
you're
you get
not
your damn ticket.
up
And
to
they're
anything
legit.
sneaky.
Legit.
They're not like just go
Yeah.
through. They're like
They're legit. They have to be. So, anyways, if you guys plan ever going to Turkey, make sure you get some serious time before you get on your plane to Turkey because they do not mess around. Edward, what is your obscure place?
well, I love me some Christmas, right?
Yes, you do.
The Christmas season.
Yes, you do.
Okay. So imagine
Ho,
going
ho,
to
ho.
Jingle, jingle.
Colmar, France. Okay, so it's a relatively small town in northeastern France, and it's in the region of Alsace-Lorraine, which is coincidentally where I'm from. My family heritage is from Alsace-Lorraine.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I've never been to Colmar, France. So it's always been on my list, but it's famous for its Christmas markets that they have every year. So 68,000 people in this town, and at Christmas time, it's overrun with 1 million people.
So when
Coming
you
to
say
these
Christmas,
markets.
when you say Christmas
Wow.
markets, are they specialized only in Christmas fair?
Yes, all Christmas fair, from foods to candies to Santa Clauses to reindeers to like all of it
For 2 weeks.
for 2 or 3 weeks. No, it
Okay.
starts in November.
Oh, it starts in November,
starts
so it's
in
that
November.
big.
And you take
Yeah.
all that shit home,
You take it all
and
back
throw it up
with
on
you.
your house.
You sure do.
and you're like, I got this.
It's probably not
From another country.
Our Christmas decorations, though. 'cause
Uh-huh.
they're like, they have those Santa Clauses.
Oh, with the pointy with the pointy, yeah.
Just like, it's like a Christmas wonderland. So I think it's really fascinating to go there.
Uh-huh.
I've
And you
never
want to go
been.
there obviously during Christmas.
I want to go
Yeah,
there
yeah,
during
yeah.
Christmas. If anybody's been, let me know. Write in and let us know.
Yeah, write
because
in, let
we'd
us
love
know.
to hear about it. And guess what it's famous for?
Hmm.
Their wine.
Really?
Yeah, so Christmas and wine. Can you get any better than
Oh my
that?
God.
Oh, I'm so down. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what,
Or
Brad?
just bring some wine back with your Christmas treats.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And then-
right.
Oh my God.
You have like
yeah.
a Christmas wine tree, like wine bottles on the tree.
That's good.
Okay.
Rods,
Okay.
we
Devin?
want to hear from you. What is your obscure place? We want to hear what your obscure place is in. So write in, tag us on Facebook. You know the Facebook fan page. What's your obscure place that you want to travel to? If you have been to an obscure place, tell us on the website. Tweet us at abroad. On Twitter, on the tweets, on the twits, _broad_prod. Let me know on the Instagram, Queen ShanShan on Instagram. What's your obscure place that you've been or you would like to visit? Tell us the tea.
Hold on. Where are you broads going so quickly? We have one final thing for you to listen to, and that is Kirk Green's unreleased demo, Come On Home.
It's raining so hard I can hardly see. I'm standing outside your door. If you only knew just what your love can do, you'd come on home. I'm so afraid I'll never find this love again. Won't you come on home? Going home. Going home. To see you leave.
Broads, I want to say thank you so much for listening and continuing to subscribe to our podcast. We are a growing family. And I also want to thank Kirk Green. Thank you, Kirky.
Yay! I had such a fabulous time. Hey, girl, hey!
Hey, girl, hey.
Hunty! I'm going to be doing that on the way home.
Please do. And scream it to
With the windows down.
Yes, please. I'm so grateful you're here. You've
Me
been
too.
a great supporter from day one.
Yeah.
You listen to the show. You tell people about the show.
love it.
I love you. Thank you so much
I
for your
love you too,
support.
honey.
You have been a real gem in my life. Seriously.
You for me, too.
Thank you. I'm Queen ShanShan, and thank you for listening to Abroad.